Free agency rumors are swirling around the Knicks as they do have an open roster spot. And according to Ian Begley of SNY, one of these two familiar faces have some interest from the front office. So I want you to decide. If you can only choose one of these guys, who would you rather bring back? Is it Taj Gibson? Is it Ryan Arcidiacono? Type the initials of the guy you want to see back in orange and blue. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I hope everybody had a good weekend, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to rock and roll with us for a couple of minutes as we get you caught up on everything New York Knicks. In today's video, we're going to break down some quotes from Ian Begley as he was pretty much saying the Knicks don't have much expectation for a player that they are going to sign to their 15th spot and final spot on this roster, but it might be someone you already know. Before we dive into those quotes, stats, and everything you want to hear in today's show, make sure you are subscribed to Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We put out videos every single day on the Knicks, and if the Knicks make a move, we make a video. So go down right now, hit that big red sub button, and help us get to 30,000 subs. Alrighty, let's dive into it. Ian Begley of SNY said this, quote, New York isn't looking for a rotation player at the backup forward position with their open roster spot. Maybe they add another veteran with that spot. And until they retire, Taj Gibson and Ryan Arcidiacono will at least get consideration if New York wants to add someone with a good impact in the locker room and on team culture. The Knicks may opt to keep the spot vacant. New York can carry as few as 14 rostered players during the season, not including two-way players. So let's focus in on Arcidiacono and Taj Gibson. Look, once a Tibbs guy, always a Tibbs guy. If you ever get the trust of him, you ever land on his good side, you're always going to be a fan favorite of him. And really, when you talk about Tibbs guys, Taj Gibson and Ryan Arcidiacono are the cookie cutter version of those players. And that's why I think that the Knicks would be opting in or having the opportunity and wanting the opportunity of bringing these two guys back. They also have $6.6 million to spend before they reach the hard cap for the NBA. You can't go past that hard cap at all. So maybe the Knicks decide to just leave the spot vacant, like Begley talked about, and maybe they reach that hard cap with likely incentives for R.J. Barrett or Brunson or Randall that they have in their contracts. I will say this, though. There is always a spot on my team for Taj Gibson and Arcidiacono. No, they aren't going to be major contributors. No, they aren't going to sway the needle too much when it comes to wins and losses, but they do all the things right that you want from someone on a team. They work hard in practice. They help other players and young players get ready for the NBA. And really, they're just people that you want on the end of your bench. Looking at the roster, you know, Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randall, and Robinson are going to be the starters. You got Emmanuel Quickly and McBride as your backup point guards. Dante DiVincenzo as your backup, too. You also got the UDFA Martin, who's going to be back and forth with the G League. You got Josh Hart, who's going to play that 3 and backup 4. Isaiah Roby, Hartenstein, as well as Jericho Sims. Let's focus in on Taj Gibson, who somehow, some way has played 159 games for the New York Knicks. When I was looking up these stats today, I could not believe that he had played that many games for New York, and he was actually decent for a couple of those seasons. 5.3 points per game in his time with the Knicks, just under 5 rebounds. He's going to be good as a defender, good as a switcher on the perimeter, also can protect the rim a little bit, just under a block per night, and you know he's going to be efficient when he takes shots because he doesn't do much of it. He doesn't have much range, but I did like what I saw from Washington, Taj Gibson this year. He was able to stretch his range a little bit to the corner and knock down a 3, and if he's open, he's going to take it, and I like that. But it goes so much further and so much beyond the numbers with Taj Gibson. He's a veteran. He's someone that I think is going to be able to help younger players on this team. He'd be a great mentor. He's already been that for some of these guys like Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims, but I'd like to see him back on this roster and back being an extension of that coaching staff from Tom Thibodeau. Because sometimes, even at work, when you hear it from your boss, man, you're like, dude, leave me alone. I'm tired of this. But when you have big bro Taj Gibson come to you, sit you down, and really just repeat the same thing that Tibbs does, but it's from a different voice, and it's from a different lens, it can hit a little bit more. So I think it'd be a good impact veteran for a guy like Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Jericho Sims. And the fact that the guy is a Brooklyn native, grew up here, went to high school here, wears number 67 on the back of his jersey for his former high school, I think it would be pretty cool to see Taj Gibson retire with the Knicks. Maybe, down the road he signs a one-day contract to retire with the Bulls, but if the last stop in his long, successful NBA career is going to be with the Knicks with New York across his chest where he grew up and first played on the blacktop, I'd be down with that to see 67 be worn by a Knick once again. Do you think Leon Rose should bring back Taj Gibson to this roster? This is your turn to weigh in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Type S for sign, type P for pass. I'm curious what you guys are thinking. We'll talk about Ryan Arcidiacono. We'll go into some stats and more in just a quick second, but I got to let you know about our awesome, proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet, and if you use the promo code chat125, BetUS is going to match your initial deposit bonus of up to 125%. So if you go to chatsports.com/bet, when you use the promo code chat125, and let's say you put $100 into your account, they will match it, and they'll give you $125 free dollars to bet with. I'm betting on NFL games this Sunday as football is back. Shoot, games are going to be back this Thursday. Now's the time to win some money. Do it with BetUS. One more time, chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. When it comes to Ryan Arcidiacono, let's start off by saying this. If Jalen Brunson wants the Knicks to sign Arch, you do it. You do anything that you possibly can to keep this young man, Jalen Brunson, happy. He's the face of your organization. He's the face of the franchise. And that's what franchises do with star players. They make sure they are happy. And it's been noted that Brunson has said Arcidiacono is one of his best friends. And look, more Nova players, that ain't no problem. You want to bring more Villanova players to wear the orange and blue and play home games at Madison Square Garden? That ain't no problem. Arcidiacono played obviously at Villanova. He's friends with Josh Hart. Obviously still friends with Jalen Brunson. If either one of those two guys wants to see Arch back in a New York Knicks uniform, I'm cool for it, man. They are two pillars on this organization, and making them happy, I think, goes a long way. Arch hasn't had much success or really much usage in his NBA career. He's played in 237 contests, only averaging 4.5 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 43% from the deck, 37% from downtown. But like Taj, it goes so much beyond the numbers. He's a glue guy. He practices hard. He echoes what the coach's staff says. And he's a guy that I think a lot of younger players can learn from. We did see him, though, back in his college career playing with Villanova, kind of light it up a little bit. Had some big tourney games, averaged 11 points in his career there, just under 4 assists, shot 36% from downtown. He also shot 44.5% from the field as a senior. So the dude's no scrub. He's got game, and I would enjoy seeing him on this team. But if I had to choose between Ryan and Taj, give me Taj Gibson. I'm honestly cool with both of them. I think Taj just would have a greater impact on some of these young guys, but I could also be talked into, if I already didn't talk myself, into the fact of bringing Arch back, because more Nova players, it's always a good thing, and he's friends with Josh Hart, he's friends with Jalen Brunson, and he's probably friends with Dante DiVincenzo. So I'm cool with either one, but if I had to choose, give me Taj Gibson, because I actually think he still has some left in the tank, and he can give you some juice as a backup power forward if you're playing a bigger team in the Eastern Conference and Josh Hart is struggling. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in. Remember, give me a follow over on Twitter @MarshallGreen_, and we'll see you later.